What's going on, everybody? My name is Terminus, and today we are back with Made in Abyss Season 2, Episode 10. We're getting closer and closer. We're inching to that ending, and I do wonder what ending it's gonna be, how this is all gonna turn out, especially with Nanachi and Mitty and with Faputa now in the village with the dream ending. And this is where we left off last time, right? Let's look at it for a second. Before we get into things, I don't say this often enough in the beginning of the video because I know a bunch of you are probably gonna just look at like 10-20 seconds into the video, then you're gonna skip ahead to the reaction, you're gonna watch the reaction, and then you're gonna turn off. If you do like my content, my discussions and whatever, but also if you just like my reactions, I mean, it hurts me, but we all come looking for other things in general. But leave me a like, subscribe to the channel to get more content if you want to have that. Check out my Discord, check out my Patreon, links are in the description down below. And for everybody who doesn't like Patreon or can't really interact with it, I know some people have trouble with it from different countries. I did make a Buy Me a Coffee account, and it's probably gonna be linked in my bio soon on my channel main page in the About section, so go check that out as well. And let's get started. Nanachi. I'm always confusing, right, the names because they're both fluffy. That's why it is. Yeah, Faputa. Faputa acts very much like a dog here, or I don't think cat would be appropriate. I think it's more dog. Although, I mean, I guess she also has cat-like elements in a way, right? More ferocious in that sense. But yeah. We're making our way towards the village, and Rek is bringing in the piece of Faputa, turning everything absolutely on its head. We do have Faputa's gaze here when she sees Rico. Very, very scary. I do hope that there's not going to be any conflict where she's going to try and hurt Rico. We go past this again, right? We talked about it at addendum for a lot of things. I do wonder if the two of them get to talk at some point later on. And we do reveal that 𝐏𝐢𝐏 is actually among us, right? In our presence. She didn't have the best disguise. But yeah, once again we bring up the incinerator. It's been a big topic in season 1, right? It's been a big topic in Dawn of the Deep Soul, the movie. It's not been a big topic in this season up until now, but once again it does break the rules of the Abyss. It does break everything that, right, every kind of magic or natural, supernatural force that's happening here. We do have the incredible attitude of Rico and her sharp mind seeing through people in a very fascinating and always surprising way, despite us knowing her, despite us knowing the way she works. It's always surprising how she's looking at people and bringing up things where you're like, well, I didn't see that, right? Or, well, she's so sharp in noticing something that we, the audience, are maybe aware of, or maybe thinking about, but within the universe it would be so hard to actually pick up on that as a person interacting with, in this case, Vasukyan. And she's like, this is not your dream. Once again we have Rico as this catalyst for change. I said it last time, Merry and Pippin, the Rolling Stones. The catalyst for change in the Abyss. Driven by her own longing, but dragging everybody else along, right? Awakening their minds to it. I'm still not sure what I should think about, like, her being the representation or something being created by Iramuyi through what 𝐏𝐢𝐏's will would be, and how her yeah, feeling threatened by pieces of Faputa, how this actually matches up in general and completely. If it's more like an algorithm where it's like, this was the will, right? The will of 𝐏𝐢𝐏 is protect the village, keep it balanced, keep it keep it in balance, right? Keep it peaceful, and whenever the village feels like it is threatened, which in this case with Faputa's incredible value coming in here would be the case, it is kind of like an automated system coming out and being like, I'm gonna defend and I'm gonna, right, attack, whatever, right? But yeah. And they merge with the balancing and with this weird kind of thing. The first time that 𝐏𝐢𝐏 actually speaks up, she's like, run, go, run. Yeah, I mean, you were training your voice, but not to shout. You were whispering all this time and singing. Not going out there shouting, being assertive. This is not a 𝐏𝐢𝐏 thing. At least up until now it hasn't been. And it's very beautiful to see somebody assert their will, right? It signifies something very important in this situation. I do wonder if we're gonna bring out the 𝐸𝐏 whistle with 𝐸𝐏 pulling out the whistle and activating 𝐸𝐏, and 𝐸𝐏 actually has to possibly go up against Faputa, or how we resolve this thing, right, with the villagers, because there's this resentment going on. There's this lingering injustice from the perspective of Iramuie and 𝐸𝐏 that has to be settled in a way. And how do we do that? Again, very, very interesting how her shape is. And the eyes, no mercy. The glowing of all of what's inside of her. She has the eggs, right? So she can do something with it. And kind of what some people possibly are hoping is that 𝐸𝐏 can actually do something with that. And we have the dream team here, right? Interestingly enough, again, a parallel, not as strong a parallel as the ones we've seen before, but we do have the parallel 𝐸𝐏, 𝐸𝐏, Faputa, and I still don't exactly know his name. I know it's been mentioned once or twice. Your mouth speak in the same tongue my mother did and spit out prayers. You can either desecrate my mother to selfishly save your own skins, right? It's like worshipping something, but exploiting it at the same time, right? Pushing the burden of deity onto something that did never want any part of it, and that's suffering in the process. I do understand that. I do understand that resentment, that anger, that regret of what's happening. And, right, the village defends itself, but she's part of her mother, and she's... Right. And Nanachi wakes up, looking at Mitty, being like, I dreamed a strange dream. And Belaf is singing his song. Very, very interesting, very serene, right? Very, very interesting. Looking up at the sky, being like, it's time to wake up. And we do feel like, almost like he's not speaking just to Nanachi, he's speaking to all of the villagers and to himself. And we go seamlessly into the deity. Beautiful, beautiful. What awaits us now? I have no fucking clue what awaits us, and it's very interesting, right? I don't know what to say. I don't know how this is gonna go out. I'm pretty sure there's gonna be a plenty of things where I'm like, oh yeah, that makes sense. I could have seen that coming. And there's gonna be plenty of things where I'm like, wait, what? I didn't expect that, right? And this is what makes the series so great. There's a lot of stuff in there. A lot of stuff to dig your heels into. Sometimes it takes an episode or two to really get the ball rolling, but this is how it goes. Pip in the description down below. Edited reaction here. Let's fucking go. Alright, time to see what's happening to Mitty. Main Abyss, Season 2, Episode 10. It's gonna start in a 3, a 2, a 1. What indeed, Nanachi? And she knows some of that information. Smells are memories. Volatile. And Belaf is sharing. I entrusted you my values and memories. Wow. Okay. So unlike me. What does he mean by that? And he's freeing them. Yeah, better don't. Better don't hesitate. Up. Alright. She can't exit. Can only exist, yes. It's like a grand dream. Everything will be gone. The force field is coming back. The dream ends here. Maybe you'll see her again. And she isn't gonna suffer anymore, right? Yeah, you can't help your desires sometimes, right? And I think in that way, Belaf and her are maybe... Your true purpose. Letting go. It was nice for a while, right? Tell her about it. I wish she could have gone with me. And talk to you, Ma. It doesn't change, right? And that is your goal, right? The desire doesn't end here. Now is it the same for Belaf and the rest? Did their dream end? But does their adventure begin? Or does their life end with the dream? Maybe they were dead all along. All of them. All that you gather is your value. Okay. Lessons learned from the village, right? And here we do have the title drop. No, Reg is back. Ooh, what a gruesome scene. It burns all that gaze upon it. The scorching sun. Ooh, the eye design is crazy. Holy shit. But they don't stand a chance. She's too fast. What's happening with the village though, right? Are the souls flocking? And if she knows... How? Again. And then we have memories. Gabu, that's his name. And he has the Blaze Reap already. They meet for the first time. Oh wait, he had that thing on top of his head. Why indeed? And she's gonna show up behind again. Oh my god, this is excessive. I'm sorry. This was strangely comical. Just a little bit.
二度とするな。今の姫ならもっとしとやかにしろ。しとやかにしたソス。
ファプタというのか君はと言っている。
いがらがで？
言語が時折通るものと似ている。
あの石のものを持つやつらか。だがこな、こいつはあいつらと違って。
Stone people. Alright, alright.
お前は何なのだ？ワグラメア。レグ。
And he knew his name, Reg.
レグというのか。
And they hit it off. Noble maiden. Immortal one. Okay.
君は言葉を覚えるのが恐ろしく早いな。ガブにも褒められたぞ。ちょっとなぜか。入るな。姫なのだろ。
母上の言葉で話の区切りにソスをつければしとやかと。
Oh, okay.
これでいいソス？
良いソス。
師匠も言っていたし。
Your mentor, Liza.
これはその友好の印だ。つけておいてくれたら嬉しい。
And we have the conflict. He wants to remember. Yeah. Of course. And here we go. Powered up. Alright, let's see what's going on. Ooh. That kind stone person. The whistles. Alright. She can read it. She can hear her. Alright, we're having a talk. She's disappointed, huh? The Iron Rain. What? He had a different face? What the fuck? Bro, what the fuck? Oh, that's a beautiful picture. Haku. Your treasure. Hmm. Yeah. Exploited. Hurting. Interesting.
ファプタはあの村に営みがあり、文化が育まれていることも知られる。中に入れぬファプタに代わり、我はたびたび立ち入っている。
Right.
営みも文化も知った上で、ファプタはやらねばならぬ理由。
You can't help it. It's the reason she was born.
生き物のサガだ。
この手はそういう光を出せるのだが、今使うわけにはいかんのだ。次撃てば僕はどうなるかわからない。僕もハクを探してこの穴を登っている。
You're searching for Haku.
あるのだ。それが終わったら君に手を貸そう。書き換えの
I'll help you when we meet again.
そのハクなら手を貸してくれる。
Did he know what the Haku is? I mean, it kind of low-key sounds like it. Alright, Faputa.
これはレグソさ。レグが旅に出てもレグを忘れんようにレグに話すそうさ。
That is adorable, but also sad. If you think about it.
あれは泳いでいけるか。
And he's making his way up. At that point.
ファプタは姫なので、レグ戻ってきたらずっと一緒にいて、それで子供も。僕からも頼む。約束しよう。戻ってきて。君の宿命に決着をつけたら共に歩き出すんだ。
Interesting. And he's gotta break that promise, right? Because he found Haku? Well, not exactly, right? He means it different, maybe.
冒険をしよう。
Take off as friends, right? Family, maybe. Question is, how long was she alone?
狂来するのは泣いて笑って好奇心にあふれた優しい顔ばかりなのだ。肝心なことは何一つ思い出せないのに勝手な言い分だとは分かっている。燃え尽きるまで自らを焼き続ける君をどうしたら
Yeah.
どうしたら止められる。
Give me what I need. Don't want you to suffer. And here comes a but. Yeah. It's in her nature, right? Doesn't mean she can't stop, but it's not that easy. There's some interesting wording in here, right? What Faputa was made of and whatnot. I'll have to look that up again and see if what I read was actually, like, what I perceived to be reading was actually right. It's a very complicated situation for sure. A lot of emotions there going on. A lot of questions that you have to ask yourself, right? How does purpose work? What is your purpose in life? And can it change? And if yes, how? Right? What is gonna be? What's gonna be the trigger to change you on that? And the next episode, the name is gonna be Value. Interesting. I actually named one of the one of the episodes like that. Very funny, very funny. Maybe some people have actually opened that up thinking it is a later episode. Oh. Back to YouTube. Back to YouTube. Right, let's talk about it a little bit, shall we? We do open up on Nanashi and Midi. Very, very interesting how Bella is describing this whole thing. Truly smells are memories themselves, like dreams. They are volatile, but I hope they reached you. So he's giving on his legacy, he's giving on his memories to Nanachi because he took a liking to her and to Midi by extension. I must go. Yeah, this is the end for me. Entrusted you with my value and memories because they're one and the same, right? You two who are so unlike me. But are they so unlike you? I mean, maybe on a visual level, but are they so unlike you on like on a deep level? Belaf is somebody who's putting himself down, right? He's at the very rock bottom of where you can be because he's disappointed in himself. He held his ideals high and at some point he failed them with all of the things he went through. And he went down to his most base desires. While he had these I still can't pin Belaf down. I know he's a very noble character, but I do wonder if he really was what I think he was at the end, just following his own desires, right? Just devouring like he did devour the soup that he got fed. Like he couldn't resist that one, and now he couldn't resist other stuff either. This is maybe what he says. He's unlike Nanachi and Midi, although they also would give anything for their treasure. But maybe it's different, right? The treasure is connection here. The treasure is that friendship, that love between them, and this is what he in his own mind betrayed. Maybe you in the comments have a different take on Belaf that I can't see. It's always possible. I do wonder what he means by that exactly. But he says like, when Nanachi goes through there, Midi's gonna be gone because she's a product of the village. And yeah, can't go past that. That which has been created inside the village can only exist within the village. Very interesting, right? Like it doesn't exist in reality. Like it's just something that exists in this almost dreamscape of a village, right? The inner worlds of 𝐸𝐸, the inner world of this group of people. And everything that's created within is real as long as it stays within. But as soon as it meets reality on the outside, it's gonna cease to exist. It's gonna cease to be real. Very interesting how I was created as the village limbs. Interesting. How? Why? Probably not gonna get any proper answer to that. Gonna have to answer that ourselves. But even he will disappear. So this answers my questions from last episode where I was like, maybe they will be able to go on beyond that, right? But no, they gave up their physical forms. They gave up their life to 𝐸𝐸, who ate it all to create this eternal dream. And the only way they can continue their adventure is if their souls go back to the abyss and at some point maybe land somewhere where they can keep going, right? Or start their journey again. And Nanachi says she's gonna be weak again when she meets Midi again in this form and whatever, if she ever does. But she had made a promise, right? I'd make it so her soul returns to me. And she's gonna see her off without Rex's help this time. Just do it on her own and follow through, and without the emotional help and without the physical help. This time she can do it. She can grieve properly, process it properly, right? When we meet again, wait for me, we go on adventures together, right? This... And this is her goal, right? Further down and down you go until it ends, and then we meet each other again. And these people that, to a degree, maybe she can relate to, these creatures, these strange ones that gave up their life as well, and they give her a parting gift. It's made with plating from the outside. It won't disappear. Take it with you. A token of who we were, right? In a way. And Nanaji got a new helmet. Belaf's like, longing, impurity, joy, pain, I have cast them all away. Carry them with you, because they make you human, right? And he has lost his humanity. Rek wakes up. Riko doesn't want the village to go, right? She's thankful for all the things that happened. We need to stop the senseless slaughter. Well, it's not no. I mean, it makes sense to a degree, but yeah. What does resentment help you? I do wonder if Iramu is only gonna be free after all the villagers died, or if this is a thing of like, as long as the village itself gets destroyed, right? And as a proxy, the villagers will have to disappear because they gave up all their physical forms. Is it over then? Can Iramu rest in peace? It burns all that gaze upon it. That light which is undying curiosity, with its undying curiosity and hallowed curse. The scorching sun, and she just digs into them, right? The balancing is going haywire. It's even spreading to the buildings and the walls. Guess we've got about 30 minutes. This'll be difficult, right? And he hopes, he banks on Reg actually managing to save them. Everything hinges on what you do, Prince. And Reg's starting to remember, right? These eyes, the design, it's so insanely good, actually. Like, it's like fractured, right? On the one hand, like, it symbolizes kind of like bloodshot eyes, but on the other hand, it's just like everything is breaking apart inside of there, right? Bursting at the seams. And it's such a stark contrast to what we see in a second. Like all the memories he forgot. And she's so different, right? She's so different. He meets her and he's like, you know. He calls himself Reg, yeah? Right? How? Why? He was kind, right? And holy shit, this imagery, holy shit, I'm sorry, Reg, this is... I've seen enough hentai to know where this is going, and I don't want to know. I don't want to see anymore. Never do that again. Yes, never do that again, please. But yeah, we get to know them more, right? They spend some time together. They build a rapport. They gotten to know each other. She learned the language. The princess who won't perish. And she's acting like a cat, right? so funny, right? She's so alive and happy. She's with Reg, right? Yeah, now we know why the earlier scene. But yeah. That's what my mentor said. And I can only guess at it being Liza, because the only guess we could have is Liza. We don't know who else it could be. Could be somebody else, but... And why is he blushing? Because of Faputa, because he's like feeling weird about friendship and whatnot, because that's new to him, or is this a reaction to him referring to his mentor? Whatever it is, it's... Right, there's a lot of emotion going on here. Well, learning how to play your role is more important than you'd guess. If Liza said that, there could be some interesting implications there that we haven't thought about yet, right? Related to why she went down there and whatever. I mean, she had the longing and she has it. She narrates it constantly, but could be more to it, right? I mean, at the very least for Reg, there's more to it, playing his role in this entire thing. In the grand scheme of things, that we have no idea what's happening, Bondwood might have an inclination. Liza probably has one, but, you know. Token of friendship. And he wants to remember, but he needs to restrain her. Keep her from hurting more people, keep her from destroying more than that. At least, I mean, but they can't prevent it, right? You need to free your 𝐸𝐸 as well. The stone person, cramped inside the stone, unable to say it, right? And she was testing her, testing if they'd find each other. And we do have this demonic landscape here. This is insane, right? Like Vasukian popping up the this was a shock moment, right? He did, at the seams of his weird maskish thing, suddenly it's almost like he's wearing a mask, right? Wink wink, nudge nudge, and then it pops open and it looks like Vasukian's face. Down beneath, he's still the same person, right? He's still the same being. The patterns on his face, right? I don't know what the gem, but it could represent the egg that he once tried at. And he has special powers, right? How? Why? Can only guess at that, but yeah, looks kind of like Vasukian. And he goes out like tendrils, like almost like roots taking place. And as I kind of seen this, when it covers 𝐸𝐸, right? When it covers the entire structure of the village, it kind of reminds me of fungus, like from The Last of Us or whatever, right? It grows, right? It grows inside and throughout it, and kind of like so weird. And we come to the end of the confrontation, see and hear the last words, the last parts of what they have to say, and we arrive at the conclusion, right? The promise that the two made to each other, where he's like, I'm gonna come back and my Haku will, Riko. I don't know how much he knew about who Riko is, who his Haku is or whatever. Will help me with that power, will help me reestablish it, right? And then I can help you with your thing, and then once all of this is over, look at the layers. Once all of this is over, we can go hand in hand. And she's like, she kind of low-key even wants children or whatever, but he's more like, I think on his level, like they're kind of feeling on different levels, or at least that's the impression I'm getting. Even though he might not have been, at this point in time, he might even have been interested in that, being like spending the time with her as his partner, because they're both immortal, kind of low-key as well. And then now we realize the betrayal, right? He comes back and he has Riko, which is his most treasured thing, and she sees that, and there's a lot of conflicting thoughts going on here, right? Somebody he cares so much about that he doesn't want to stay with you. He forgot everything, that the time you spent with one another. But now we're back, right? He remembers, and then he's like, come on. The gentle expressions. He remembers them too, and he's like, help me help you, right? Help me get you to stop this. And she's like, no, this is what I need to do, right? I can't. And she turns the tide again. And we end it here. And we don't know how it's gonna end. No, don't know how he's gonna stop her or what's gonna come of that. I do still wonder if Riko is still gonna play a role in this, because she's been very passive so far. She has had that one moment in the last episode where she was gonna perk up and be like, scream from the top of her lungs, but is she gonna play another role in this? because she had a big role in this already, right? She was at the center of this, together with 𝐏𝐢𝐏. He's the old generation of what happened. Together with Vasukian, with Bellev already went his way, right? He can rest in peace now, and I mean, I don't really blame him for what he is or what he did or whatever. Probably a very, very noble character, even though very tragic as well on many levels. But yeah, I mean, there's not that much to talk about anymore. It's been a rather short discussion. I'm sorry. I hope I don't disappoint you with that. But it's beautiful nonetheless, right? There's a lot in there, a lot that can be processed, and maybe if something occurs to me and if there's some thoughts I want to extrapolate on, I'll do that next time. But we had a lot of action going on too, right? Reg remembers a lot, but it has thematically, it's just one or two themes that are going on here that are the main thing, right? A couple of key details that we pay attention to that fill in some of the picture and give some intrigue as to what's gonna come next, and also some intrigue as to what the mysteries around lies and whatever else we're gonna we have been asking ourselves from the beginning on what that is. Right, but a lot of this episode was emotional, right? Deeply emotional for Faputa, for Reg. Riku kind of taking a back seat here. Wiku kind of taking a back seat here. I wonder if they're gonna come in again, right? As prominent figures, as game changers. Even though Riku did do the whistle with Prushka and whatever, and Reg got activated through that and whatever, but it was just a short boost to give Reg the strength to kind of fight it and get to the point where he remembers everything. And now we have to ask what happens next, right? Yeah. This has been Maid in Abyss, Season 2, Episode 10. If you did like the video, like, subscribe, whatever, you know, helps a lot. Check out the Discord, check out the Patreon, check out the coffee. And I'll see you next time, hopefully, for a fresh start, for interesting points and things to process and things to look at, to gaze at. Every moment, emotional or otherwise, narratively, thematically. Every moment is interesting and has been throughout, well, most moments throughout this series, so I don't expect anything else for the final episodes. I don't know how many. It's gonna be 2 or 3. Don't expect anything else for the final episodes. But I'll see you next time.